Having every period, which may be sometimes painful or not, often leaves you confused and angry, and then you start to ask yourself several questions like, what is the cost of this every period? How do I manage this condition? For instance, how do I go out and not look through my clothes? How do I sleep and not stain my bed sheets? And then you start to feel, oh, what is the medical solution? What can I do? How can I reduce my flow? And several other questions just keep popping in your head. Fortunately, these are the questions that will be answered in today's video, and if you find this video useful, please ensure that you share this video with some other person, because these are critical issues that we will be talking about. So let's just jump right into it. You're just so stunning. Beautiful people, you are welcome to the channel. My name is Odunayo and I anchor this platform. I'm a public health specialist, and on this channel we discuss about how to stay healthy, how to ensure that we stay healthy each day and we keep ourselves healthy. Your period is said to be heavy if you have to change your pad every 3 hours or less, or if you leak through your pad often, if your period lasts more than 7 days, or if you pass heavy clots, that is blood clots in your period. If you experience any of this, it is definitely heavy period. But we have to state that heavy and painful period, although they can be mutually exclusive, but oftentimes you find them working hand in hand. If your period is heavy, then most likely it will be painful. Going on to how to handle every period. How do you take care of yourself when you're on your period and your period is heavy? Number one thing to do is to ensure that you pad up well. That is, you could use two kind of pads. You could use tampon and then you wear a pad. It helps you, to keep you in, and then you don't have to, it reduces your bedroom trip where you have to go over and over again to change. You could use a tampon, insert a tampon, and then you wear in a pad. And also you can switch to menstrual cup. Menstrual cup absorbs a lot of blood, unlike tampons and pads, which is why if you use a pad you have to double it up with a tampon. But if you use a menstrual cup, it takes almost all the blood and it reduces your bedroom trip. Another thing is that you should always have extra pad, extra sanitary towel, extra menstrual cup or whatever in your bag whenever you are trying to go out, and ensure you take a lot of rest during this period. If you do not have to go out, if you can stay indoor at this time, just to take care of yourself, and then because of the psychological because of your psychological state at that time, you might just want to stay indoor and rest your body. And also because sometimes these things are accompanied by menstrual cramps, by painful periods, you might just want to reduce your outside events or engagement if it is possible. But if it is not possible, then you have to double up your pad, or you take use a menstrual cup, and then you take extra sanitary towel with you. In a video that is going to come later but soon, I'm going to be talking to you about the best way to wear a pad, how best to pad up, especially when you have every period, and how best to dispose your pad. That's going to be a very short video that's going to come very soon, so you can actually watch out for it. But how do you reduce your menstrual flow? How do you reduce every period? Like I said, most people and women have been conditioned to believe that heavy and painful period is normal. You see your people saying, oh, maybe a woman, also a mother saying to the daughter, oh, that is how my period had always been, and look at I have 4 of you, it is normal. The fact that your medical or condition does not affect your fertility does not mean that it is normal. Every issue that has to do with your reproductive organ does not have to lead to infertility, and you cannot use infertility or fertility to judge that the reproductive organ is actually healthy. I hope that is clear. That is, you cannot say, oh, because I used to have this condition and look at me now, I have 3 kids, then it is normal, just bear yours. No, it is not normal. And also the fact that your mother experienced it, your grandmother experienced it, and you are also experiencing it, that is a cause for alarm. For you to know that something is actually wrong somewhere. So what are the causes of heavy bleeding? We are going to be focusing much on heavy bleeding, and then in a video that will come later but sooner, actually, we are going to be talking about how to manage painful periods. So focusing on heavy period. How do you manage every period? Number one thing that I would recommend you to do is to know the cause. You cannot manage every period if you don't know why your period is heavy. As although some have unexplainable condition, that is, there's just no medical condition that is wrong with them. Medically, there's nothing wrong with them. When they go for all the scans and the checks, they discover that the reproductive organ is okay. It happens to some women, but a good number of times there are issues that are related to it, especially when it is accompanied with painful period. And one of these things is, it could be uterine fibroid, it could be uterine polyps, it could be endometriosis, it could be adenomyosis, it could be PCOS, that is polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it could be hormonal issue, probably thyroid issues and all that. There are different things that causes it. So if you have heavy bleeding, please ensure that you see your doctor so that you can be properly diagnosed. This is a disclaimer that this video is just for the purpose of information. It does not override whatever your doctor has prescribed for you or whatever your doctor is saying you should do, especially if you have seen your doctor. But one of the things that you could actually do to manage this condition is your diet. I mean, eating healthy and reduces your sugar or carb intake. Also ensure that you take a lot of water, especially during your period, because if you are bleeding heavily, then you might as well be dehydrated. Also, water does a lot of things in the body. It helps. Even most of these medical conditions, when you take a lot of water, it just puts your system at peace. So you have to ensure that you drink a lot of water, and also you have to increase your iron intake. Now, I don't usually advise that you increase your iron intake when you're on your period, especially when you're trying to take blood tonic or things like that, because your period is generally heavy. You cannot take that during your period. But as soon as you finish your period, probably a day, 24 to 48 hours after, it is advised, because if you keep losing blood like that every month, then you should know that it would affect the overall health. Going forward to medical solutions for this condition, you'll be talking about using birth control pills. Yes, birth control pills can actually help, to lower or reduce the blood during your flow. And then you might be looking at intrauterine device, which is just like a T-shaped copper device that is inserted into the uterus to prevent fertilization from happening. It is actually a form of birth control, but you can use this because over time it reduces blood flow, and then eventually it might even take away your period, such that you might even eventually stop having your period. So if you are not looking at maybe trying to have a baby at that point in time, going on birth control is usually a very, very good option for this. But please, like I said earlier, ensure you speak to your doctor. Don't do this to yourself, and don't do it all alone. It's just for you to have information on the possible solutions or the possible options that you have, which is the medical solution. Another thing, we could be talking about medical surgery. Take out the cause of your heavy bleeding. For instance, if you have uterine polyps, you could have the surgery to remove the polyps. If you have a fibroid, you could have the surgery to remove the fibroid. And some other things, you could take drugs, hormonal pills, and or change your diet to regulate your hormones. If you have issues with polycystic ovarian syndrome, if you have thyroid issues, you can also get treatment for it. Surgical solutions, like I said, like myomectomy, it's actually a solution. We have what we call endometrial ablation, which is a surgery in which they remove the uterine lining and such that you don't get to bleed like that often. And sometimes you might have to repeat this surgery because over time the uterine lining might start to build up again. Then you go for a surgery, you take it out again. But the issue with this is that if you are planning to get pregnant, you don't have to go for endometrial ablation because it will make conception quite difficult. Another thing also that you might be looking at in severe cases is a hysterectomy, which is the total removal of the uterus or the womb. This is for people that have serious medical condition, that it's maybe there is no other option but to take out the uterus, or probably for people who have had the number of children that they really want to have. And of course, why go through the pain when you can actually do away with it? Something like that. So you can actually take it out, take the uterus out, leave out your ovary, or have a total hysterectomy where you remove every other thing that has to be removed. Thank you so much for listening to this, and I really do hope that this video is helpful and you really do find the solution that you so much desire. If today is your first time of watching this video, please kindly click on the subscribe button, click on the notification bell, and join us in this journey. But before then, I would like to welcome you, welcome, and to become a part of this family. Take care of yourself and do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.